All right. Hey, everybody. Good to see you. Hello, hello. Welcome to SoulPet. I'm just going to turn up my volume a little bit. Not that I need to hear you guys, but make sure that everything's good for recording. And it is so nice to see you. Happy Monday, everybody. Oh my gosh, look at everybody logged in already. Okay, I'll come out. Oh, look at good comments. Lots of good comments and questions. I will, yeah, that's what I should also say. And anyone I missed, Cheryl, but we'll come back to that. So we'll say hello to everybody in just a moment. We have a lot of good stuff to cover tonight. I know that we talk about we talk about a lot of these topics again and again, but every time we do, something new comes up for me. And that was the case with Ho'oponopono, the forgiveness practice, the Hawaiian forgiveness practice. So we're going to go even deeper into that for anybody who hasn't seen any of those videos before. I can put some links in. I can put them in the comments, links to prior videos and the meditation I've done for Ho'oponopono, the forgiveness practice. But you can also stick around tonight because we're going to talk about the foundation of it, but also how to really make it like medicine, how to make it a healing practice that you do every single day that helps shift the way that you're grieving and helps you heal and work through the process and have a better life overall. And I'm not kidding. I'm going to share with you one of my personal secrets to how I live a happy, optimistic, I choke on the word optimistic life. And we're also going to go, before we even begin that, I'm going to hit some of the questions. There were 2 or 3 questions from last week's Q&A session that I didn't get to. So we're going to answer those, 1 or 2 that came up in the comments, and then a couple that we didn't get to that were on the post. And then I'll get to all of your questions. So let's say hello first. For all of you catching this video for the very first time, my name is Elaine. You know me as the Animal Reiki Lady, and I'm an Animal Reiki Master, an Animal Chaplain, a pet medium, and everything I do is for animals, but for people, for all of the human companions and animals who share a life together. That's what this channel is all about. And for those of us who have gone through the loss of an animal companion, our soul pet, it is to help you work through that, to help you understand that all of our animal companions, especially our soul pets, are right here still with us. And I don't mean it as a metaphor. I mean it for real. Those words are real. Your animal companion, it has never left. They've never gone anywhere. Even when we talk about the Rainbow Bridge, which is something that we haven't talked about in a while. So maybe we're due for another Rainbow Bridge session. But angel signs came up a lot this week. Lots of people posted about angel signs. But that your animal companion's soul and spirit stays with you. They don't go off to heaven. Heaven is a beautiful place, but what if heaven is right here? We just can't see it with our human eyes. And how do we recognize that our animal companion is still with us? Lots of ways. And Pat, thank you for sharing all the cool signs that you're getting from Logan, because those are all great ways for us to receive messages from our animal companions on the other side. So anyone new joining the channel, welcome, welcome. You are welcome here. This is a place where you come as you are. There is no judgment here. You will receive a giant virtual hug from everybody in this community. We welcome you with open arms. We have all been where you are, and some of us are still there right now. And we welcome you and hope to be able to support you as you travel through your journey of grief, wherever you happen to be on that journey. And if you're watching this video live or 10 years from now, there's a message here for you. I know it. I know that there's a message here for you because we know that there is no such thing as time, space. All of that is just man-made concepts. So when this message gets out to you, I hope that you find some relief from it. All right. I'm a little warm tonight, guys. Oh my goodness. I'm ready to open a window now that I have got myself all started here, but it is what it is. This is definitely come as you are. We are all natural here. We don't put on airs. There is nothing that is off topic. If you would like to go ahead and cry, we are here to hold you. We are just a community of people, of normal, everyday human beings supporting ourselves in our humanness. Okay, so here we go. Let's say hello to everybody first. Hello, Pat. It is great to see you, Pat. Man, you're kicking the conversation off well, so I can't wait to. Are the Hawaiian people very spiritual in nature? We're going to talk about that. Let me write that down as one of those questions. Hawaiian, and the practice of huna is one of the names given to the spiritual practice. So I'll just jot down huna to make sure that I get to that. Okay, let's not read the questions and get distracted yet. Hello, Pat. It is good to see you. Sherry, it is great to have you here. And Sharon, as always, good to see you. Kali, great to see you from Canada. I have to. I have to. Ms. None Your New York business. Cheryl, it's great to see you. Let's see, who else have we got here? Who else is new? I don't see it. Let's see. I said Kali. I said Pat. I said Cheryl. Oh, hi, Kathy. Kathy H, good to see you. Z, great to see you. Kathy R, great to see you as well. I got my two Kathys here. And Z, yesterday I donated 4 Pockets beds, some toys and treats to the local shelter, which happens to be expanding. That is beautiful. Oh my goodness. What an amazing step in the healing process when we are able to do that. Now I still have all of my dogs' collars. So I have Lucy, Jack, and Winston. I have all of the collars that they wore. I wear Winston's name tags on a little necklace. But to be able to get to the place where you know that your animal companion would welcome these things being able to help other animals who are in need. And so that's a beautiful thing, Z. So I'm just so happy for you that you were able to make that step. Okay, let's go back and look at some of the comments. Oh, I missed it. So I like to welcome channel members first. Let's talk about the channel membership. If you want to become a channel membership and support this channel, I keep it super duper, ooper duper. Like it's affordable. It's not like, I'm not one of these crazy channels where you pay $99 a month for the privilege of watching me talk to you. It just kills me. But what does happen when you do support this channel is that it enables me to be able to help others who are unable to pay. So as an animal chaplain and as an animal Reiki master, I work primarily with animals at end of life. And I just can't imagine letting something as man-made as money stop somebody from being able to help their animal companion transition to the other side. So your support goes to a very good cause. Because everything I do is to benefit all animals and all humans. It's what drives me forward. It's my purpose. It took me 52 years, and I've been doing it now for, okay, I won't give away my age. I've been doing it for a long time now, but it took me 52 years to find my purpose, to find my real purpose. And now that I found it, I can't turn away from it. And I mentioned this, I think it was in the Zoom. It might have been one of the classes. I teach classes, and I also, I do a lot of interactive things, both in person and online. And I mentioned that, now I've totally lost my train of thought. Oh, I mentioned that if there is anybody who is looking for assistance in transitioning, not to the other side, in transitioning out of a career that they hate and into something they love, please reach out to me. It took me a long time. It was all trial and error for me. I did at one point hire a coach to help me take the leap. But ultimately, I'm the one who had to say when I was going to take the leap and then what would happen. So if anybody is ever searching for that kind of mentoring, I'd be happy to share with you. I'm just happy to share what I did to get to the place where I was able to live my purpose, because I think that's what we're all here for. And I think it's the root cause of so much of the unhappiness and anxiety that is pervasive in our society today. Is that people aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. They accept a job for the salary and the benefits, and they don't think about what it is that they really, really want to do. That's enough preaching about that. Okay, so we had a Zoom call for channel members. Let's circle back to that. For channel members, we had a Zoom call. I try to have them once a month. May kind of got away from me. We had one kind of at the end of April, early May, but then May got away from me. But we did have a call. We had a Zoom call on Friday. And it was all about mediumship. I'm going to use that word, mediumship. It was about being able to make connections with our animal companions on the other side. And we practiced together. We all brought photos of our animal companions, and we practiced making connections. And we used a couple different techniques. We played with it. We just played with it and had a sense of fun as we played. But that was a really cool thing to make those amazing connections. But that's also where I want to remind you that this is a community of people who is non-judgmental. We're just so open and caring for everyone. And it was a great way the Zoom call was a great way to interact with you guys. So to have all of us talk together and meet each other and hear each other's voices, it was a great time. So it was very nice to connect with everybody that way. So that's one of the perks of signing up for channel membership. And then I always try to, I mix it up. I can't do routine. it's not in me. It's not in me to stick to a consistent routine. I have to be able to every once in a while just fly by the seat of my pants. So that's what I do. So let's talk about some of these questions. I'm scrolling back up here. Let's start with Pat. Pat, who loves to kick off these conversations. I love it. Thank you. Logan has been communicating with me a lot lately. Every time I check the time, it's around the time. It's around the top of the hour. It's his favorite way to tell me that I'm here, Dad. All of those ways. We think that we need like a giant neon sign, an airplane pulling their name across the sky as their sign, but it comes in the most everyday ways. They reach out to us in ways that get our attention. And that can be electronics that start freaking out, like my lamp back here, this lamp, if I can point to that every once in a while freaks out. The one day did in particular, the lights back here with the TV, that was the lights on the TV that turned on mysteriously one day. That was about Bear. So they come to us in the most amazing ways, and clocks are an easy way for it to happen, which leads me to angel numbers. Somebody else posted in the comments that they've been seeing angel numbers since their animal companion crossed, but they never put 2 and 2 together until they watched. I did a series 2 summers ago. Has it been? Yeah, 2 summers. It was August of 2023. I did a series about angel numbers and what they mean and how to recognize them and what they. So 2 years later, somebody caught this video just yesterday and commented, I never made a connection between seeing the repeating numbers and receiving signs from my animal companion. And as soon as I did put the connection together, now I can't turn them off. So we'll talk a little bit more about signs, because you can, somebody else commented that the signs seem to be decreasing. And we talked about that a couple of weeks ago. So I'll come back to that and mention that again, why that is. But angel numbers and clocks and easy things, clouds, electronics, coins, butterflies, dragonflies, feathers. I'm trying to think of all the ways that I've seen. You just see a white feather just out of nowhere. You see a white feather. My dogs, Jack and Lucy, loved to go. They loved when we lived in the RV. For those of you not familiar, for 3 years, I lived at the top of a mountain in an RV. And for one of those years, I was all by myself. It was the most amazing experience of my life. I wouldn't trade it for the world. It was so amazing to be able to make connections with wildlife and nature and to be there all by myself. And it's how Winston came into my life. But my dogs loved being in the woods. They loved being in nature. They loved camping. And when I found the white feather, I only posted this for members, I think. When I took gypsy camping for the very first time about a month or so ago, a white feather just appeared out of nowhere. This white feather came floating down, and it was right there in front of me. And I had to take a picture like a goof. I'm taking a picture of a white feather because it meant something to me. It meant to me that Jack and Lucy were happy that we were camping and that they were right there with me, experiencing that whole adventure of doing the camping. Okay, so we'll come back to angel signs in a minute. I want to get to all your questions first, and then I'll get to the ones that we missed last week. Once I was able to recognize the different methods that he used to communicate, you've been at peace. Pat, that is a wonderful message also. The signs are not just there to say, hello, I'm here. They're there to bring us comfort and relief. They send us those signs so that we can know that they haven't left us. And once we recognize that, it's like this, it's like a door opens that can never close again. You always will know that they're there. Always, 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 and forever. And then, so let's talk about why do the signs kind of recede for some people? For me, I'll use myself as an example. Jack and Lucy, immediately upon their transition, each one of them sent me a sign all the time. Like I got signs from them constantly from the moment each one of them crossed. I got rainbows. I got dreams. That was the other one you mentioned, Pat. I saw them in dreams. Jack did his street art, which there's no way you can't make that up. Like you just can't make it up. Jack did a street art of urine out front of my house. The clicking, the drinking from the toilet, the clicking of the nails, all of those things. They sent me all kinds of signs immediately after their passing. And then little by little, the signs started to recede to the point where it was last year. I don't remember exactly when. For those of you who've seen the Sweet Lucy shirt, last year, I realized that I hadn't heard from them in a while. I still doubt myself every once in a while. You know, you get that little human, your little small child inside goes, but wait, Jack and Lucy, did they forget about me? No, they didn't forget about you. They did not forget about you. And I asked that question of Lucy, and I asked her to come to me in a dream. She did not. And in the morning when I woke up, I was more than disappointed. I was really disappointed. And I went to the to the secondhand store, to the thrift shop, and there's a white t-shirt right there, smack right in the middle of the store. You can't miss it. It's like all the clothes parted, and there's one little t-shirt there that says "Sweet Lucy" in big gold letters, "Sweet Lucy." So they will. The signs begin to fade over time as your grief begins to fade. I feel that they send us signs a lot in the beginning to help us know and to help us understand and to help us trust that they are still with us and that we're able to communicate with them. They work both ways. I've showed you this before. Signs work both ways. I have this blanket on my bed and I write on it. I've written, Jack and Lucy, I love you. You can send them signs as much as they can send you signs. I've written on the mirror in the bathroom with my dry erase marker. I love you so much, you guys. I miss you so much. I love you, love you, love you. And then I just feel them with me. So signs work both ways. But as you become more and more comfortable, or as their spiritual presence becomes more and more natural for you, then the need for the signs kind of dissipates. So once it becomes a natural flow for you, the need to receive the constant validation that their soul is still with you kind of quiets down. So the signs quiet down. But you can do like I did with Lucy. You can ask. You can just ask. You can say, well, you know what, you guys, it's like best buds who haven't spoken in a couple months, and we just pick up the phone and pick up right where we left off. But it's time for a sign. So just so you know, I'm still here and I love you. And wait for the sign, and it will show up instantaneously. Okay, so that addresses a couple of questions all at one time. Are the Hawaiian people very spiritual in nature? The answer to that is yes. And one of the things we talked about when I first talked about Ho'oponopono and the practice of Huna is the thing that's called cultural appropriation. And cultural appropriation is where one culture kind of takes the culture of like we do in the West, like we've done with yoga. The tradition of yoga that we practice, that most women practice, it's all about poses and clothes, but that's not what yoga is about. And so in some cases, we have appropriated some other culture's practice without really understanding the nature of it. And the Hawaiian practice of Huna and the Hawaiian spiritual tradition is a very unique tradition. In the beginning, I thought it was all of Polynesia. I thought it was a Polynesian tradition, which encompasses all of the islands in the Pacific in the Pacific West, whatever you call that, in the Pacific. But this particular practice, Ho'oponopono in particular, is uniquely Hawaiian. So they're deeply spiritual. And when I teach you these practices, I do so with the utmost respect for their spiritual culture, knowing that I can't even begin to truly understand the meaning behind a word like Ho'oponopono. And the way I learned about that was through Reiki. Reiki is a Japanese tradition, a Japanese healing modality that I learned to be able to help a family member who was experiencing a chronic, ultimately will be terminal illness. And so I chose to learn the system of Reiki. I realized that I wanted more than anything to share it with animals, to be able to help animals release the stress of trauma, release the stress of anxiety and fear and pain and illness and injury. And what it taught me as I learned more and more about the Japanese traditions was that I can never fully understand the meaning behind the word Reiki and the practice of Reiki. And it's the same with Ho'oponopono. But it doesn't mean that I can't respect it, honor it, and practice it, not only to the best of my ability, but to do so in a way that the universe opens me up to understand what that healing practice is. So we'll talk a little bit more about that when we jump into Ho'oponopono in just a couple of minutes. Logan just came into my thoughts at the top of the hour. That's cool. That's so cool. Do it. I can't wait. See you guys, Lucy. I've been talking about you for all night now. So come on, let's show us a sign. The lights are going to start to blink or something. That's usually what happens. Sherry said, oh, let's see. Pat says, what other healing practices do different societies use? I think that countries in the Far East, Africa, Europe, and the Americas would have different customs. 100% they are different customs, and they're different customs, but they are so similar. For example, I'll use Reiki as the example. Reiki means universal energy. That's like the loosest possible translation, but the word for the spirit. So there's like this universal life force. That's really what Reiki is, universal life force. And it's the source of it comes from our hara, Hara. That's in your core. It's about like an inch below your belly button. It's that whole central section of your body there. And in the Chinese tradition, it's called the lower dantian. In the Japanese tradition, it's called the hara. I used to know what it was in the Hindu tradition. I can't remember. But every single culture has its unique practices, its unique healing modalities, its unique beliefs, its unique traditions. And you can look at them, and I see, even in the Hawaiian practices, I see so much about Reiki. I see so many similarities. When I look at Reiki, and then I were to look at even Hinduism, there are so many similarities. So there's Taoism, there is the I Ching, am I saying that right? There's Reiki, there is some, I'm certain that I don't even know them all. In the Irish tradition, I'm certain there's a Celtic tradition. I am certain that there is a Scandinavian tradition, and they are all beautiful. And if you're interested and curious about those things, I encourage you to research them. Research it, look for it, study it, understand it. And if something really, really resonates with you, like Reiki resonated with me, then you internalize it. And what happens is it becomes your own. It becomes your own. The Reiki that I practice now is not the same that my teacher taught me, that her teacher taught her. And I can trace it back to a Japanese man by the name of Usui Mikao back in the early 1900s. But every society and every culture has their own practices. And if we're going to even think about Christianity, think about baptism, think about the rituals that we go through at the end of life. There are even things like marriages. All of it is rooted in cultural tradition, and it's all done a little bit differently in each culture. So you can find something of your own, or you can find something that's very Western, or you can go look and explore. If you're like, I feel like there must be something, because I'm also drawn to Native American, and I don't just mean like Native, I mean ancient American I'm drawn to, and the shamanic practices. It's all that. If you're feeling drawn to that, there's something within your own spirit that is calling you and pulling you, and I would encourage you to go explore it. And if you ever need any help, like finding a place to go, or somebody, like I've read so many books, I've researched so many things, even before I knew what I was doing back in college, I would explore. It's how I know so much about Hinduism, because I started attending Hindu. It's not really church, but ceremonies. I started because I was just so curious about all of it. Anywho, more questions. Sharon loves Mondays. Me too. I love Mondays. Sharon, how did you get Logan to communicate so much? Oh, I'll let you answer that, Pat, if you want to. Beginning to trust, just beginning to trust and to accept the signs and know that they were real. Carl, it was good to see you and Gary. Yes, it was. Dun, 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 dun. Click the like button for, oh, thank you. Thank you, Cheryl. Yeah, click the like button. You guys know, YouTube is a wonderful, wonderful way for me to build this wonderful community. I mean, we have gangbusters compared to it. I tried different social media, and it's not for me. It's just not for me. But when I went on YouTube, oh my gosh, this is a great way to really start getting a community going. And you're supposed to say things like, if these videos really resonate with you, please like and subscribe. Yeah, I'll know that I trust that you're grown-ups. If you like something, you're going to like and subscribe it. But I appreciate it, Cheryl. So go ahead and what do they say? Smash that like button. Crack me up. Okay. With Logan, I just kept speaking to him throughout the day like he was by my side. Beautiful, Pat. Beautiful. Somebody commented about that on the videos this week. which are starting to go. It's so funny how it goes cyclically. Like I can get 2,000 new viewers in a month, and then I'll go for another month where there's like 10. So I don't know how exactly that works, but yesterday I noticed a lot of activity on older videos, and somebody commented that all they did was just try to keep talking to their animal companion as if they were right there. And it's absolutely what you do. I talked to Jack and Lucy and Winston, although Winston's a little bit different. And in another conversation that we have about reincarnation, I can share more about Winston. But Jack and Lucy were with me for their whole entire life since they were born. Well, like 8 weeks old, whatever that is. Lucy was an oops litter for a doggy, and Jack was a runt. Jack was the last of a litter of someone who was selling puppies, and we would not normally do that, except this little puppy did not have a chance in what of going to a good home. So he came to live with us, and Lucy adopted him. This so cute. A 1-year-old dog who just Lucy adopted Jack, and the two of them were inseparable their whole lives. So I talk to them all the time as if they're still here, always, every single day. And that's how you get the signs from them, because they want to communicate back, and they'll find a way to get back in touch with you. And anyone I may have missed. Oh yeah. I do the same with Gary and Potato, a fair bit more with Gary. And he shows you, okay, got it, 1111, 111, 222, 333. And don't worry if they show you 666. It is not the number of the devil, I promise. 666 is, I did a video on it. I'll have to go back and look up because now I don't remember the spiritual meaning off the top of my head. But it has a very beautiful spiritual meaning. All the numbers do. Numbers in themselves are not inherently bad. Logan loves the clock. Set a reminder on your phone, have it repeat all day. Okay, so if you want to make yourself have a sign, you could do that. Shirley, hello, Shirley, good to see you. No, we don't have to record on YouTube. It does it automatically. Lisa, you are the person who had the question that I'm going to do next, which is why do our animal companions pass if we don't happen to be present? And I'm going to answer that question that I didn't get to last week. It's good to see you, Shirley. Robbie, great to see you. Thank you for being here. Dana, I think that I did not say hello to you the first time around. It is good to see you, Dana. I owe you the video. Ella, good to see you. Jody, good to see you as well. All right, so we got a lot. All right, I'm missing questions here. Hold on. Scroll down a little bit. I did Ho'oponopono to 2024 on New Year's Eve. You can do Ho'oponopono for anything. I'm going to tell you right now, anything. It doesn't matter for it. I love that you did it for an entire year. I would love to go back and forgive. Well, I don't even need to forgive 2020 because 2020 was the year that some craziness happened for me. I don't know if anybody, I'm sure you all remember where you were when the lockdown happened. I remember where I was because I was horse sitting. So I was in a small cabin, a very small cabin up in the mountains of Colorado. And there was a horse and a dog and a cat. And that was my job. And while I was there, we went into lockdown. Okay. But while I was there, we had a blizzard that dumped 6 feet of snow. I'm stuck in a cabin. The horse has no place to go. So I'm out there shoveling 6 feet of snow for this horse. And then I can't even go anywhere. I was eating dried spaghetti out of a box. So you may think that I should go back and forgive 2020. However, 2020 then opened up all these doors. I never would have started videos without 2020. I never would have dreamt of having an online community like this if I hadn't been stuck for 3 weeks because nobody could travel. The people that I was horse sitting for were down in Florida while I was stuck in the snow. Anywho, don't know how I got there or what that has to do with anything, except that Ho'oponopono you can do for anything. I know I asked this before, but where is this post? What post? I'm not sure what post you're talking about, Sharon. I post things like posts to the community here, I put them under, I think, like if you look across my channel, you'll see it says videos, shorts, lives, posts. So that's where I keep that's where I post everything. And Z, we already talked about your donation. That's awesome. Found Ho'oponopono. Uh-oh. Hold on. I scrolled too far. Why did it do that? It just like took all these comments. Oh my goodness. Like I don't know what I don't know what just happened. So I'm going to let me just bear with me for a minute. I have their collars too. Okay. All right. So I think I must have hit the mouse or something, took me all the way to the bottom of the comments. Haven't been able to let anything go. Don't judge yourself. If you have not been able to let anything go from your animal companions, hang on to them for as long as you need to. Even if that's forever, it doesn't matter. It is depending where you are on your journey. If you ever get to the point where you are ready to donate those beautiful things, then you do it. If you don't, there's no judgment. No judgment. Hard enough to let another dog onto the bed. Wow, Kali, I forgot about that. Jack, Winston, and Lucy. And there was one time I had 6 dogs, and that's when I was in the RV by myself, and I just unfolded all the fold-out beds, and everybody hopped on. But when I brought Gypsy home, and no dogs had slept on the bed except for Jack and Lucy and Winston, it was hard. It was hard, and she was different. She was different than them because they would. So Lucy wouldn't. Lucy slept at the foot of the bed. Jack Jack slept on the bed, kind of next to me. Winston always curled up down at the bottom in the corner. Gypsy wanted to be like a cuddle bug. Like Gypsy wants to be right. She's got to be like, have her face right near mine. She's got to be all on top of me. And it was hard to bring it up, but we got used to it. And now I wouldn't trade it for anything. But haven't been recording the mediumship Zoom yet. Have you got time to do one, please? Yep. Yep. Dana, I got you covered. Don't worry. NC. Hello. Welcome, NC. I'm not sure that I know you. Wait, did I miss Jessie somewhere? See, I know I scrolled past these. Jesse Blanco, can you communicate with living animals? The answer is, well, if you're asking me personally, the answer is yes, but my connection seems to be strongest with animals on the other side of life. I have done communication with animals here on this side of life. There are some people who are much better at it than I am. But everybody can, by the way. It doesn't, just scrolling down a little bit to Cheryl's comment there. Everybody can. We all have the ability. We've just kind of block ourselves off. We all have the ability to receive information from our animal companions, and you can always take my little class if you want. We have one going on right now, but I hope I do them every once in a while, the animal communication classes. NC. This morning I spoke to my sweet October koi and said that I'll never forgive myself for his passing. After I share Ho'oponopono, I hope that you will. Oh, good. Isn't it interesting? I knew that there's more than someone who needs to know about Ho'oponopono. So we're gonna jump into that in a second. I'm gonna scroll through these comments super fast. You are not to blame. Thank you, Kathy, for reiterating that. Number one, I will say, for anyone who is expressing for the very first time in this group of people that we've lost our animal companions, you'll hear us say names like Logan and Gary and Potato and Phoebe and Scout, and we hold them all so deeply in our heart, but we understand what it's like for that to be new. And you are welcome here, and we hold you in a giant virtual hug. I don't want to ever forget each week just to give everyone a giant virtual hug and let you know that you're so supported here and that you are not to blame. There is no blame, no blame. You may think that you did something wrong. You should have, could have, would have done something different. We all think that. We all think that. And we've released ourselves from that burden. We no longer carry it, that heavy duty blanket of guilt. We just let it go. And hopefully tonight with Ho'oponopono, we can do that for you. Wrote on the mirror after you did the shirt, hubby thought I was crazy. Oh, My husband thinks I'm nuts, so I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine with that. I write on the bathroom mirror with a dry erase marker. It works. And then you can just erase it and you write it again if you want to. Super easy. It's great. It's a great way to do affirmations. If anybody's into affirmations, whether they're healing affirmations or personal affirmations or manifestation affirmations, you just write it on your mirror with a dry erase marker. Oh, thank you, Sharon. I appreciate that. Yep. So there's a series of shorts. I try to do all different kinds to help people through this. Yep, to help you through. Okay, I'm scrolling real fast now. Scrolling super fast. Lisa, how you doing? Oh, honey, I know. Lisa has been in my classes before, so I recognize the name Lisa Killian. You know more than anybody how much your baby's still with you. How much your baby's still with you. At 16 and a half, what an amazing life she has lived with you. Amazing. No signs for a while, so I asked, please do something. And 3 days in a row, your hubby found a dime and a penny, a dime and a penny, and a nickel and a penny. One of the things that I wrote down here, isn't that interesting, is find a penny. It's on here somewhere, but I wrote coins down for sure. It's an easy thing to find a penny. And when you find your penny, I love to find coins everywhere. I have this little mantra. I say penny, a nickel, a quarter, a dime. I find money all of the time. But I tell coins that I'm rescuing them. So wherever you happen to be, you come home to my coin rescue and I will rescue you. And then my goal, I have this jar. Once I fill it up, I'm going to donate it actually to the rescue. But you can love on those coins. They'll show up for you all the time. And I talk to Jack and Lucy like, it's been a while, guys. Where's my penny? Where's my dime? You find that penny or you find that dime, whatever it is, and you hold it. And as you hold it, feel it, like really feel the ridges, feel the metal, feel the whole feel of it. And then you can take that penny. It has to be one. So you find one, you know that it's a sign from your animal companion, and you put it in your pocket. You know that little coin pocket in the top of your pants? You just put that coin there. And then every time that you want to remember them, you just touch the penny. Put it in your purse, put it wherever. But whenever you feel the need to remember them, you've got something concrete. Go touch. You just go touch the penny. So that's what you can do with that. Yep, virtual hug, Lisa. Virtual hug. Oh, so today I came home to the puppy spray painting. Oh no! Oh no! You blame the nuns. Oh golly, we're going to talk about the nuns in just a second. That's my chuckle for the day. We don't have pennies in Canada anymore. Golly, really? No way. Oh, why? And why is Jody loving that from Kathy R? I must have missed a comment from Kathy R. I'll go back and look after all this because I want to get to Ho'oponopono. So no pennies in Canada anymore. So what do you have? Just dimes and nickels? I don't even know. Do we have the same kind of currency like when it comes to change? If so, just you switch to dimes then. Anything metal that you can hang on to that that you can remind yourself that it's your animal companion who sent you that. Oh, the coins. Okay. Okay, a couple more questions super fast. Why do the signs decrease? Okay, I already shared that one. Why am I, So maybe you guys can help address this. The person, I don't see the person on tonight who asked this question. Her doggie recently passed, a Chihuahua, and she can't work. She can't function. She does go to work, but she finds herself getting foggy brained. Her exact words, I get foggy brained. I find myself just staring off into nowhere and unable to think and unable to function and unable to do my work. What am I supposed to do? So that I believe that is just an expression of our grief. Your brain, and this is a little bit of neuroscience here, our brains are they're wired in a certain way, and each one of us is hardwired a little bit differently. We used to think that our brains were stuck in that pattern. Old dogs, new tricks, doesn't happen. Well, we do know now that doesn't matter how old the dog, the new tricks are real. The more you do something, the more you can change the way that your brain fires and that your brain is wired. So when we have an animal companion that's part of our life, our brain is hardwired for that love. Our brain literally, our neurons are literally hardwired for that expression of love, for that interaction of love. And the longer, so 16, 17 years, 16 years, I want to say this little Chihuahua was the same as Lisa's. Lisa, was that you who asked the question maybe? 16-year-old Chihuahua. And so your brain is hardwired for love. And now that feeling of being bereft, it's not just your heart, your actual neurology is like in shock. It's like the shock's not the word I'm looking for, but you don't know what to do with that, and that's why you get foggy brain. It's like that nothing is firing. So that's why we go through some of these practices to try to rewire our brain for healing. Every single week, I try to do some kind of healing practice so that you have a way to consistently move forward. And the more you practice it, like I suggest, we're going to do Ho'oponopono every single day. The more you practice it, the more you rewire your brain. And you're not rewiring your neurology to forget them. You are rewiring it to heal. And we are healing by remembering them in a certain way, that we know that they are still here, that we have their support, that their soul is still with us. A soulmate doesn't go away. And the more we repeat those things to ourselves, and the more we practice things like Ho'oponopono, your brain will redo itself so that you can function. And for the time being, don't judge yourself about that. Don't judge yourself at all. It just is. It just is, and there's nothing we can do about it except move forward a little bit at a time. And one of the things that I'm going to talk about with Ho'oponopono is that we want to raise our vibration. Now, that is a really overused term in the spiritual metaphysical community. Raise your vibe. But it's meaningful when you understand how to actually do that, to move from a place of blame and guilt and regret and rise up a little bit to relief and gratitude and appreciation. And I like to use the analogy of the penthouse and the basement and the elevator and the lobby. So your animal companion has now raised themselves up out of their physical body to the penthouse of heaven. That's where they are right now. And you are stuck in the lowest floor of the parking garage with our grief. And you can't even see each other, let alone hear each other or anything. So what we do is these practices, it's like stepping into the elevator that takes us up to the ground floor, and they can get in their elevator and meet us at the ground floor. And together we can start to heal. And you raise your vibration, or you raise the emotional level that your heart exists in. And that's how one of the ways that we heal. Okay. Let's talk about, no, there was one more question. Why am I foggy brained? This is for Lisa. This is for the other Lisa Cox. Why did my dog pass when I was not present? And I think that it was even a matter of being outside versus inside. I have one other person who reached out to me in the very, in the very beginning when I first started doing these practices, the chaplain work. She reached out to me because she was with her dog, holding her dog, and to comfort her dog, knew that end of life was approaching, was very, very prepared, as I was with Winston, was very prepared for when it was going to occur, and fell asleep. And she wanted to know why would I fall asleep? That I wasn't tired. What would cause me to fall asleep and not be present in the moment that he passed? And for me, with Winston, it was work. I went to work for 2 hours. It was a 2-hour shift on a Saturday morning at the pet funeral home. I came home and Winston had crossed without me. And I thought that we had a deal. I thought he knew that he could just sit in my lap and I would help his soul float right off to wherever he needed to go. And why did that happen? And you be in the same house, you're in the same room. This often happens with kitty cats. Kitty cats will tiptoe off to a quiet place. Kitty cats prefer privacy. And if they do offer you the opportunity to be present with them as they cross, then it's a gift. It's a gift from them. But otherwise, and I respect that they like to be private. Now, what I discovered when for Winston, I'll tell you Winston first, because Winston was the first one that I personally experienced. I was so angry. I was so upset that I needed Ho'oponopono more than anything else. I've explained this to you guys before. I was screaming like a banshee. I was out of control. And I don't know, I don't get that crazy emotional. Like I'm not the drama queen, but there I was way over the edge when Winston crossed without me, screaming at my husband. Um, it was not pretty. So I sat in a meditation to try to find a way to forgiveness. I sat in a meditation, and Winston shared with me, because he'd only crossed within a week of Lucy. That also added to the level of my grief. Within a week of Lucy is when he passed. And what he said to me, they were both old, they were both seniors, and Winston suffered from congestive heart failure, and he was deaf, and there was a whole host of things that Winston had going on. He saw how easy it was for Lucy to cross, and he knew that he could just go and that he didn't need assistance. He saw how beautifully easy and peaceful it was for her to cross. And so he left. And I would not ever take that away from him. If he saw how beautiful and peaceful and easy it was and felt that his soul could just rise right out of his body, then that's how he did. Then the person who fell asleep, and for someone who's in the same house or in a different room, sometimes I believe our animal companions choose to spare us. They choose to spare us, and they go where they think that they are helping us. So they transition without without making us feel even sadder than we are. Now, of course, they don't know that we wouldn't, I'd much rather have been holding Winston. I absolutely would rather have been holding Winston. I was ready to carry his little soul out of his body and let it float off to heaven. But it's not our journey. And that's the other thing that I often teach with Reiki, is that we really do have to. I try not to ever use like firm words like that, but we really need to let our animals proceed on their own journey. And sometimes that journey does not match our ideas of what we think that it should be. But know that I suspect, and why do I say suspect? I know our animal companions, every single one without exception, sends us a sign right away, immediately, instantly. They send us a sign to let us know that they've crossed out of their physical body and that they're right there in their spirit. So even if you think back and you can't think about what that sign was, you can ask your animal companion to resend it. Like, they'll know. Yeah, you don't have to do any explanation. You were so caught up in the grief of the moment that you missed the sign. Can you show me what it was? And there will be the shooting star, or there will be the rainbow, or there will be the cardinal that comes tapping on the window. They'll come for you. They'll come to show you that sign right away. So Ho'oponopono, it's a sacred thing. When I talk about the words Ho'oponopono, when I do this mini exercise, it's going to be so fast, you're going to love it. It doesn't take we do not need to do like hour-long meditations. You can, and they're fun. I love to do long meditations, short meditations, medium. This one is short, sweet, and to the point, because connecting with our animal companions can be instantaneous. We just need to think about them. And so I just have to share with you guys that it has been so cloudy here all day long, nothing but cloudy dreariness. It was irritating me. And as soon as I said, Lucy, will you give us a sign? Yeah, I'm just going to lift my curtain. Like, the sun is shining so bright that I know that has to be my Lucy. That has to be my Lucy girl shining so brightly on the sunshine. So they'll show you a sign right away. Okay, so Ho'oponopono, it's a sacred practice. When I speak the words and I teach this little meditation to you, I'm going to use the Western translation of the word Ho'oponopono. Ho'oponopono is about forgiveness. And when we say the word forgiveness, I was raised Catholic. There come the nuns. I was raised Catholic. I went to Catholic school. I had nuns for my education. This was back in the 60s, so it was all nuns. There were very few lay teachers. And oh my goodness, when the first man was hired as a teacher, it was a scandal. But anyway, we had all nuns, and can't remember what I was saying. Lost my train of thought as I started talking about the teachers and the nuns. Religious, sacred. I don't know. If it comes back to me, it'll come back to me. So I'm going to give you the Western words, the Western translation of the word Ho'oponopono. Ho'oponopono, it's actually 3 words, H-O, to make, pono, P-O-N-O, and another pono, Ho'oponopono, to make right with nature. And if you use the word twice in Hawaiian, it's like emphasis. It means to make really right with nature. So Ho'oponopono is to return to the most beautiful connection with nature that you've ever had. It doesn't even mean forgiveness. It's only people in the West, in the Western culture, who've tried to translate the meaning of that word, that we have reached the word forgiveness. There is not even words in the Hawaiian tradition for I'm sorry. It doesn't exist. So it's very difficult to understand the feeling and the nature of a word like Ho'oponopono. It's the same thing with Reiki. Reiki is a Japanese word that means Holy Spirit, is the literal translation. In the West, we have translated that to mean universal energy or life force. It's far beyond that. It has so much more of a deeper spiritual meaning than what we are interpreting it as using our limited English language. So we have come up with this. We have come up with. I just scratched myself. Hang on a second. We've come up with 4 phrases that we think are the closest translation we can get to the word Ho'oponopono. So Ho'oponopono, to make extra right with nature. That's what you're doing. You are returning to a state of equilibrium. You're returning to a state where there is no blame. Blame holds us down in that garage basement. Blame pulls us way down there. Guilt, grief, not grief. Grief is a natural expression of our love. Guilt, remorse, regret, anger, hatred, those deeper, those denser emotions is what I call them. Not necessarily negative. We feel them for a reason. But with my granddaughter, we call them your big emotions, your big feelings, your really big feelings, honey. Those deep, dense feelings hold us down, where we want to rise ourselves up a little bit. And Ho'oponopono is like that elevator that's going to rise us out of the basement and allow us to connect with our animal companion. So guilt, anger, blame, resentment, all of those things are the things that hold us down. So we say this little phrase, Ho'oponopono, in the Hawaiian tradition. And the overarching spiritual practice, the word is huna, but there's some cultural significance to the word huna that also will get Native Indigenous Hawaiian people very upset. It's like a cultural appropriation, which is what we don't want to do. All I would want to do is honor a spiritual practice that I have found to be incredibly healing, not just incredibly healing, to be overarchingly healing, that can heal any situation, it changes things. When you practice Ho'oponopono on a daily basis, something changes. There's just something truly divinely, dare I use the word magical, mystical, wonderful, miraculous about the way that things can change when you use this practice. It is about divine, and I've used this term before and I really like it, radical forgiveness. Radical forgiveness. It means that you hold a grudge for nothing. There can be no grudges. There can be no holding on to things. There can be no forgiving, but I can forgive, but I won't forget. Nope, that is not forgiving. That is not forgiving. And I say it without judgment because I know what that feels like. If someone or something has wronged you so much, it's impossible you're not going to forget. Well, that's not radical forgiveness. Radical forgiveness means against all odds, for total, unconditional. As much as you have unconditional love with your animal companions, unconditional forgiveness is also the answer. So our goal is to raise ourselves up, feel some relief from those denser emotions. And it works really well when we first kind of think about gratitude, appreciation, the things that we do have, or even if it's a memory that we're going back to, holding on to Winston's little collar, those things that help get us to a state where we can at least feel relief. And by relief, I mean, just for a moment, that blanket, that heavy lead blanket that's holding you down is cast aside. You just cast that off. And just for a moment, you're like, oh, I remember what it feels like. I remember what our love feels like. And it's such a good feeling. And then you may start to cry. It may pass that fast. Then you start to cry and say, what am I going to do? And I can't think, and I can't function. It's okay. that one moment of relief. It's like more powerful than any of the denser emotions. The denser emotions actually hold very little power. Your power comes from your love. Your power comes from your love, and you can't get to that full loving place without forgiveness first. So the words that go with Ho'oponopono, and if anybody has more questions about the practice of Ho'oponopono, I can point you in the right direction for learning more about it. There are lots of people who talk about it on YouTube videos. You'll have to come to your own like personal understanding of what it means for you. For me, saying the word, when I say it with reverence and respect, Ho'oponopono, Ho'oponopono, I choose to restore my balance. I am making the choice to let go of all of those things that don't serve me. And I choose to make myself and my relationship right again with the nature of all things, not just with nature like the trees and the air and the leaves and the plants and the animals I choose myself. I choose to make myself whole again with the nature of everything, with the stars, with the planets, with everything. So now that's just, those are the things that run through my mind as I say the word Ho'oponopono. So you can do that too. The word is, there's some reverence about that word. There's something about the word Ho'oponopono that it has like a mantra to it. There's something behind it that I don't understand, but I trust because I've seen the way that it heals. But the 4 phrases that we use in the modern world are this: I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. 4 phrases for one small Hawaiian word. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And you can do it for anything. You can do it for a situation. You can do it for a year. You can do it for a relationship. You can do it for something you may have done in the past. You can do it for something that you may have said that, you put your foot in your mouth. You can do it for something that has happened with your animal companion. Yeah, anything that you think you could have, should have, would have done differently. Ho'oponopono it. Forgive it, bring it out, bring it up. I have gone back to my childhood there was a very small, insignificant event in my childhood that if I tell people about it, they would go, what? Why'd you hang on to that your whole life? I don't know why I hung on to it my whole life until I learned Ho'oponopono. And I went back to my little 9-year-old girl self and I forgave her totally. And now like that, it's healed. It's healed. That thing is healed. Yeah, it can be for anything, past, present, future. Yes, you can heal the future before it even happens. So this is the practice that I would recommend. I think that you should do this every single day. Every single day, practice Ho'oponopono. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. I think you should do it in the mirror. Go to the bathroom mirror. If you can't even say it to yourself, people have a hard time. Now I'm going to take my eyes away from the camera and just look at the screen. People have a hard time looking themselves in the eye and just looking at themselves and saying, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And you can add to that. That's like the interpretation. So here's a little exercise that I think you should do. And then I see all the comments scrolling by. I will go back and read them in a second. I invite you to visualize your animal companion. So your animal companion who's crossed to the other side, visualize who they are. Like right now, I can see Jack, Lucy, and Winston all sitting next to me as if they had a cookie, as if I had like a bag of cookies, that they love their cookies, as if they were all waiting for their cookie. So Jack, Lucy, and Winston, but you just picture your animal companion. And then here's what I want you to picture. I don't want you to say the words. I want you to hear them tell you the words. I want you to hear your animal companion say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for your suffering. Please forgive me. Please forgive me for leaving so soon. Thank you. Thank you for loving me so completely. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Hear your animal companion say that to you. Let them open the door to forgiveness first. And then you turn around and do it right back to them. So you hear it in your mind, you hear them speaking the words to you, and then you say it back to them. So if you want to do it with me right now, I invite you to do it with me right now. We're just going to do this. If you're in a place where you can, if you're not in a place where you can set yourself, give yourself a moment, then you can come back to this. But if you're in a place where you can close your eyes, I invite you to close your eyes and just say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Visualize your animal companion. Visualize your animal companion. Listen to them, and my voice will be their voice. I will be speaking for them. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for your suffering. Please forgive me for leaving you so soon. Thank you for loving me so completely. Thank you for giving me the best life I could ever have asked for. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. And now take a deep breath, and I want you to say it back to them. I want you to say it with me. If you can say it out loud, that would be great. Otherwise, say it in your mind. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I should have done something different. I would have done something different. Please forgive me. Please forgive me for not knowing what to do and when to do it. Please forgive me if I made the wrong decision. Thank you. Thank you for your unconditional love. Thank you for guiding me. Thank you for showing me. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for your signs. Thank you for every last moment that you ever gave to me. I thank you. And I love you. I love you then. I love you now. I will love you forever. I love you. I love you. I love you. And then reopen your eyes and feel the relief. It is so relieving, and you can do it for your animal companion. That one's an easy one, easy, quick, just to make a connection with your animal companion, and then watch for the signs. Watch for the sign to show up instantly. But the sign is just like a nice little byproduct, the feeling that you have of relief after you have that session with them. And then you can do it for if you're holding yourself responsible for anything, if you're holding a family member responsible for anything. I have shared before the story, and I will not give out too many personal details, of a very close friend of mine who was directly responsible completely unknowingly for her dog's transition to the other side. And the level I don't know that this person has ever truly forgiven themselves, but I know that it can be done. I know that our animal companions, when they cross to the other side, they take nothing of those memories with them. The only things they take with them are their love for you, their love, and their unending devotion to you. So daily practice is the secret to life. It is the secret to a happy life. Being able to forgive anything, anybody, anywhere, anytime. Oh my gosh, it's so freeing. There is nothing more liberating than being able to forgive anything. You can forgive. I ho'oponopono drivers who cut me off. I ho'oponopono people that come into, well, I don't go to work anymore, but that would come into the office, or bosses, co-workers that they don't even know. I'm ho'oponoponoing them. Is that even a verb? I don't know. But you can forgive anything, and it's so liberating. And you do it all the time. And the more you do it, like, you'll want everybody to ho'oponopono. There's a book here I'll show you guys. If anybody does want to read more about it, it's called The Book of Ho'oponopono, Hawaiian Practice of Forgiveness and Healing. But you can find other sources of it as well. One of my other favorite books is called The Shaman's Mind. Now that's a deeply metaphysical. It's a training all about the Hawaiian practice of Huna, but there's some really good stuff in there about Ho'oponopono. Jonathan Hammond is the author of that book. There's a guy named Joe Vitale who does a lot of Ho'oponopono stuff. He's a little rough around the edges. Not necessarily my favorite, but he may be, maybe somebody else's. That's just me. But anyway, I believe in a daily practice. Now let me scoot through these messages real quick. Ella, I'm inviting Gigi every night to visit me in my dreams. Just saw a glimpse of Gigi, but nothing what other people experience. For example, to touch them, hug, or kiss. Maybe I don't remember. Ella, so dreams are an interesting thing. We have talked about dreams before in the past. It has been a little while. I always revisit different topics because there are always new people joining the channel. Plus, there's always something new that we can all talk about. But dreams are one of the most difficult things, not for our animals to come through, but for us to remember. Our ability to recall dreams, it's like learning piano. If you've never played the piano before, you've got to train your mind to remember the content of the dream. And then you will have a dream that is like off the charts. And then you'll know what it feels like to have that dream. But it takes a little bit of practice to be able to write down, to be able to wake up, to be able to keep it in your mind. You have to set an intention before you go to sleep. But Elle, if you go back, there's a video. There's definitely a live stream on dreaming that you might get some hints from. I don't remember when I did that. Back in the winter sometime. I want to say it was like back in January. But we can always do another session on dreams too. But you keep doing that. You keep asking. You ask, and then even if it's a quick tip on dreams, when you go to sleep at night, as you're drifting off to sleep, think about your animal companion. If you've got like a collar or a leash or a little bit of fur that you can hold onto or tuck under your pillow, also a great start. And you keep them in your mind as you're falling asleep. You set the intention, you request that they come to you in your dream state. And then you say to yourself, I will remember. I will remember. And then the moment you wake up, before you even go to the bathroom to go pee, before you get out of bed, I want you to pick up your pen and paper and write down the first thing that comes into your mind. Because even if you don't remember the dream, your subconscious, before your conscious daily mind kicks in, your subconscious will remember the message. So write down the first thing that comes into your mind. And if you don't have a thought, write the feeling down. Like I woke up feeling so much lighter this morning and I don't know why. That is a sign that they did come to you in your dreams. And then little by little, you will start to make a connection in your dreams till it gets to the point, right, Aaron, who will probably watch this video on the replay, till it gets to the point where like Pat, it's a common occurrence for them to appear in your dreams. Yes, thank you, Cheryl. Yep, so that was a quick thing about that. You're funny, Elaine. I am. I cracked myself up too. Whatever I said, I don't know. I'm at work and I don't care. I'm at work and I don't care. Because the thing about work is that there's a percentage of your coworkers, and I know this from LinkedIn, where I don't know if that's big in New Zealand, but in LinkedIn it's a fairly well used professional networking social media site. And I know how many people have reached out to me on that site to say, I could never tell my coworkers. I'm like, if you only knew how many of your coworkers just reached out to say they could never tell their coworkers. We've all been through it, but we don't know how to express it. We don't know how to support each other at work. We don't know how to support each other at work. But even if you're just doing this exercise at work, go ahead and ho'oponopono the office or wherever it is that you're working. And watch how the whole thing changes. Like you can do it for a place too. Yes. Most important thing about hubby finding the dime and pennies 3 days in a row. It was 3 cats in a year that transitioned. Okay. The nuns need ho'oponopono. All right. So I'm going to close with this. We're way over. I try to keep this to an hour. It doesn't always work out. The reason that this came up for me was because if you watched last week's video, I came across the name of a person named Janet Nahovic, right? Janet Nahovic, who was a medium. She has since transitioned. She passed away in 2022. I was looking her up because I heard of her name and what she did. And I always am studying more. I always want to learn more and more. So I look her up and turns out she's deceased. But as I'm reading her obituary, it turns out she was a nun, and she was, I don't know what you call it when you leave the nunhood, when you were no longer part of the convent, but she left being a nun. And so I sat down to do a little meditation with her because I felt like there's a reason we've been talking about the nuns. It's so silly, such a silly thing for us to joke about, but here we are. So I sat down and I did a little meditation because I wanted to know if she had a message for me. And for her, the first thing I got was ho'oponopono. And guess what? It's not the nuns who need to ho'oponopono. It's the rest of us who need to ho'oponopono for the nuns. That we need to say, we're sorry. We're sorry because what she shared with me, what came through in meditation. So it's not like I had a woman talking in the back of my mind. I'm meditating and these thoughts come through to me. They're deeply spiritual. They resonate with me. So I feel that they're true. That many of women who ended up in a convent were so lonely and unhappy, and they had no choice. There were times where women had to go to a convent, or else it was the convent or the insane asylum. There were, back in the early 1900s, there was a reason why so many women went into the convent, and it was to avoid other alternatives. So what she shared with me, that the convent was a place where often lonely, unhappy women went, and then on the other hand, there were some who did feel it as a calling, and there were some who it became a beautiful choice for. But my only familiarity with nuns, this is what also came through, was teachers. And I realized that there were so many others. There were cloistered nuns. There are nuns who are nurses, nuns there's who do orphanages, nuns, so much more. So perhaps it was that nuns have wounded inner children just like us, and everybody could benefit from Ho'oponopono. All right, that's it. I am just going to check this last comment. Can't find my comment somewhere the night of the Zoom call when I go back to bed in this new small little rechargeable lamp. Oh, it turned on. I said, okay. All right, so I see some comment, and we're just gonna kind of let it go at that. But yes, those are exactly the things that happen. The lights that went on over here, there we go. The lights that went on over there for no reason, just popped on in the middle of the day. That's when you know that you're getting a sign. Or when the sun comes out of nowhere, the sun just starts shining brilliantly on a cloudy, rainy day. All right, my friends, it has been great to chat with you this evening. Thank you so much. We're ending this at 1:11. 1:11, and then some seconds. It's been great to spend the evening with you. I hope you have a beautiful rest of the week, and I will see you guys all again next Monday. Until then, know that somebody loves you, and know that, oh, may animals light your way. Take care, my friends. Bye.